Good morning, dear devotees and friends. Today is Sunday, and let us begin our Sunday talk on the Srimad Bhagavatam. And as usual, we will chant this mantra and then we will start the discussion. Shantakaram Bhujagashayanam Padmanabham Suresham Vishwadharam Gaganasadrisham Meghabarnam Shubhangam Lakshmikantam Kamalanayanam Yogibhi Dhyanagamyam Bande Vishnum Bhavabhayaharam Sarvalokaika Natham. Friends, we were studying the Uddhava Gita, the part of the Bhagavata. Uddhava, the great devotee and the follower of Sri Krishna. So he was anxious that what will happen when the Sri Krishna leaves this earth. Sri Krishna decided to give up his body. So we know, and he was asking some question. Those who are following these Bhagavata classes, you know the whole situation. So in there, and almost in the last part, Uddhava reached to him and he was asking. So when the pure mind Uddhava understood, then he was worried about the dharma. Why? Without the dharma, the human society will break down. He understood that. So naturally, he wanted to know the spiritual responsibilities of different categories of people. Different categories of people. When you say that, that means at that time, the different categories have already come. The Brahmana, then Shudra, Vaishya, Kshatriya, and this all. So these four categories, who should do what? When the Krishna was there, he was a paramount figure, so obviously he used to control all this. Now when he is going to leave, what will happen? O Lord, you have advised to put our minds with devotion to you. But some do work without devotion. The Uddhava putting the question to the Lord. What will happen to them? Moreover, there are different types of duties in human society. How, by following their own responsibility, they will develop devotion to you and achieve liberation? So two parts of the one question. He is asking, Yatha anushthiyamanena swadharmena nrinam toi bhakti bhabet tat samakhyatum arhasi. That is the last part of the question. There are different type of people, they have different type of responsibilities, and what would be their spiritual responsibility, spiritual practices, how they will be distinguished. And then you say, after practicing Swadharma, my own the responsibilities and duties, how I can develop devotion to you, or I can grow in spirituality. In society, there are different type of people. There are administrators, and there are spiritual teachers, and there are business community, and the working class. These four always, every time they are there. Now in India, they developed some special responsibilities for this type of people. And every responsibility, duty, work was assigned in such a way so that slowly they grow into spiritual life. That is the beauty, that is the speciality. So they, whatever they are doing, they are growing into spiritual life. But why there were divisions? Because of the tendencies. So now the Uddhava is asking Krishna, you have decided to leave this mortal body. And when you won't be here, who will be guiding these people? If the Brahmanas are doing some other things or the Kshatriyas are not following their own responsibilities, what will happen? So, yatha anushtiya manena swadharmena. When the practicing the Swadharma, Nrinam, the human being, toi bhakti bhavet, develop devotion to you, tat samakyatum arasi. So devotion to you means the Krishna means the God. It's not the person. That is sometimes some of our friends, they make the mistake. They say it is the Krishna is only God. Why? Because the Uddhava said this. Uddhava, when is meaning the Krishna, it is not the Krishna in that particular form. It is the God. The God who is having all those qualities. God who is all pervading. From the God everything is coming. Everything is sustaining, everything is dissolving. That particular concept is known as God, and that at this moment in the form of a Krishna. So this we should not forget, otherwise it will be a narrow sectarian view. So this says that how they can achieve the liberation. The 11 Skandha, 17 chapter, 2nd verse, it says like this. Then the Uddhava very intelligently putting this. Karta, abhitra, prabhakta cha bhavata madhusudana. Takte mahitale deva vinashtam ka prabhakshati. In the 6th verse of the 17th chapter, Krishna as the Madhusudana Uddhava said, you are the only originator, Karta, Abhitra, you are the defender, and you are the expounder, Prabhakta. And when you are planning to leave this world soon, then religion will also die. Who, O Lord, will then Prabhakshati, advise us, guide us? So, Uddhava's idea was clear. Uddhava very much knew who this Krishna is, though they were almost like friends, close friends, and the behavior and all that they were growing together. But he knew Krishna is that Supreme Lord. Yomam pashyati sarvatra, sarvam cha mai pashyati. In the Bhagavad Gita, the Krishna said, Yomam vetti tattata. Again in another verse he said, one who has understood me truly. The truly, the tattvata, what is the truth? The Krishna, though in this human form, he is eternal, he is all pervading, he is all powerful, and that is the conception of God. When we forget that, we like only one particular form of God, and then we think that this is the only form. That's called sectarianism. Why it comes? Because of my ego. It's not the God, it is my ego. My ego is promoting me, what I have thought, what I am thinking, and what I am doing, whatever path I am following. That is the only path. It is not God's. It is not God's will, it is my ego. So those who are doing like that, they cannot reach. Even if they reach, they go to a particular small part of the God. So that's why religion is always open hand, covering each and every one, embracing each and every one, every path. And very recently, the same God came in the form of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. And this time, he is the avatara, the incarnation of the combination of all religions. So this Sri Ramakrishna also taught this. Here also, in a different way, we are going to understand from Sri Krishna how in this world different type of people came, different responsibilities came, why it came. Now everybody is putting finger on this particular thing of Hinduism. Casteism, everybody is complaining. Not understanding, misunderstanding, wrong understanding, all going on complaining about the casteism. But how it came, why it came? So let us go to that. So Uddhava requested him, why I am asking you, sir, O Krishna, because you are the only person who can answer this. Hearing Uddhava, Lord appreciated him for his intelligent question. Uddhava is not thinking about himself. Uddhava is thinking about the all people. Friends, you may be hearing a sound now. That is the rain, torrential rain, and the water is splashing on the wind screen, our window screen. So that sound. Hearing this Uddhava, the Lord appreciated him for his intelligent question. Why the intelligent question? I am not quoting that verse. Uddhava is not thinking for himself, he is thinking for the others. And he is thinking what will happen if there is no religion in the human society. Dharma or righteousness is the core of human life. Some people, they will attack religion only, dharma only, constantly criticizing. But they do not understand what actually religion is. They are seeing something that some people, they are misutilizing religion, misinterpreting religion, misleading that religion, just a 1 or 2% maybe, and seeing them, quoting them, they think that this is the whole of religion. This is in the same. There are some doctors who are they know what they are going to do. They are cheating the poor people, illiterate people, and taking their body parts, selling it. Are they not? It is there in the society. Now, are we going to condemn all the medical knowledge for that? There are some engineers who are using inferior materials to construct the bridge which will be used by the thousands of people just for little profit. The greedy person. Are we going to stop all engineering sciences, all engineering knowledge? We should understand that. There may be 1 or 2 bad administrator, bad king, ruthless people. Are we going to condemn everyone, all administrators? Then why? If someone somewhere making some mistake in the name of religion, we have to understand that, and we have to understand that that is not religion. Is the misrepresentation or misuse of the wonderful conception. What is religion? Religion is holding without righteousness. Dharma, in Sanskrit, dharma. This remains no difference between human and animals. The whole human society will become only body-centric and absolutely selfish. What is religious person? Unselfish. Religious person? Selfish. What is the punya? Unselfishness. What is the papa? Selfishness. The sin is selfishness. And if I am not having that training, then how I can hold myself? So in the human society, we feel hungry, we feel sleepy, we feel thirsty, we feel many other feelings are there. And all these feelings are present in the animals too. There's a beautiful Sanskrit verse. So they are same thing. Only that dharma that makes the difference. Dharmena hina pashubhi samana. Without this dharma. And what is this dharma? We'll slowly understand that. In Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna used the word Swadharma. Those who have read the Bhagavad Gita or reading, you know that Sadharme nidhanam sreya paradharma bhayavaha. It is better to die performing one's own duty than to take up some others' responsibilities. The others' responsibilities, if we try to do, that will be terrible. And we have seen that. The religion should be propagated, lived and propagated by the monks, the dedicated people who are not having any family ties, family bondages, who could come out and live a holy life. And then, after realizing the truth, if they come out and teach the society, they are the only people from whom the human society should learn religion. But one who is a businessman and whole day he is doing the business and evening he is coming and giving the discourse on Bhagavata, maybe that he can expound it because he is having the wonderful control over the language, and people, if they are following him, will be in the ditch. Andhena neva niyamana yatandha. In the Upanishad it says, it will be leading, a blind leading another blind. So that is the problem. So this we should understand. Before we enter into the wonderful discussions of the Lord Krishna, let us once again remind ourselves about the truth. Otherwise, we will be confused. Now, who has created human being? God. Why human beings are different? The God's qualities out of which He has created them. That is Satya, Raja and Tama, three qualities. Who gave dharma to human being? God. Dharma means the injunctions and the instructions and the guidelines. So that is also God. What happened one practice dharma goes back to Godhead, goes back to God. So ultimately what is this? In the whole circle we find it is the God, and after coming back it is God. So, keeping this in mind, let us start reading this, the 17th chapter. In the 10th verse of the 17th chapter, Lord said, the total creation period has been divided into 4 parts. And every part is known as Yuga, Y-U-G-A, Yuga. And the whole creation, it is a long period of time, and then it is divided into 4 parts. I don't know why, but the ancient Hindus, they were very fond of 4. Maybe those the numerological the people, they may say, why these 4? The 4 parts. Total period, the complete creation, that is divided into 4 parts. And the first part, about that the Lord is telling in the 10th verse, Adu Krita Yuga Varno Nrinam Hamsa iti smrita Krita Kritya Praja Jatya Tasmat Krita Yugam Viduhu. Adu, in the very first part, Adu in the beginning. Adu in the beginning. In the beginning, it is Krita Yuga. Krita, and also known as the Satya Yuga. It is very popular as Satya Yuga. It is also Krita Yuga. All people were righteous. So Krita Kritya. Krita Kritya means they were satisfied. Why? They were righteous. What is the righteousness? They knew the truth, that God is only existing and all the creation that is in front of us is all false. Majority of the people, almost all people. So when we read those about the rishis, about their children, Brahma was the first created, because the Supreme Lord created Brahma, gave the knowledge of the Veda, that means the knowledge. And from that knowledge, Brahma started creating from his own mind. He started thinking, and he created the rishis. the thinkers, and also we know the four sons of the Brahma, Sanak, Sananda, Sanatan, Ittadi, Ittadi, all this creation. That was in the beginning of that. Beginning of the creation, Satya Yuga. All were very righteous. All were very good people. So that was the total picture, and there was no problem. But the God never wanted that. He wanted something to happen. Now, unless and until every day someone is having the little milk, and then that much, again next day little milk, next day, but at least one day out of that milk he can make something else, maybe yogurt, maybe something else, and that is the joy. The God also wanted that joy. Ekaham bahushyama vihi. Why? He said, I am alone, I like to be many. Why he said? To enjoy. How he will enjoy? Because out of except the God, there was nothing. So he divided himself. You will find some people who are alone, they are playing cards, and he will put two, or sometimes that they will be playing some other things. So he is playing here and goes to that other side, again playing from the other side. It goes, he is enjoying by that way. There is no other people. Like that, the God was not having anyone else. So he divided himself in different parts. And in the beginning, what happened? All came just in the image of God. They were so pure and so intelligent. So naturally, everything was the same. So that was Krita Yuga or the Satya Yuga, not much of activities. In the Satya Yuga, only Om was the most coveted knowledge. Om iti Brahma. So the Om was the only coveted knowledge. There was no rituals actually practiced. So they used to meditate on the Om, they knew what is that. And they were standing on 4 feet. And that was the Dharma. What is that? Dharma is the austerity, tapaha. Then purity, shaucha. Then forgiveness, daya. And truthfulness, satya. These were the 4 parts of the Dharma. So they said it's like a bull standing on 4 legs. It's a very powerful bull. Why they give the thought in that way? Because bull was very important. It was the land of cultivation that they needed to cultivate the powerful bulls. So obviously that way they thought the God is a bull and it is helping this way, and the 4 legs are Dharma, Tapa, Shaucha, Daya, Satya. Tapa means austerity. What is this austerity? Again, that is also giving the definition. Manasa cha indriyanam cha swa ekagram paramam tapa. The mind and all the senses should be controlled and put into one direction. That is tapasya. In the modern time, Ma Sharada Mani Devi, I've said that many times, Ma Sharada Devi said, what is tapasya? Somehow to keep your mind at the feet of God. In a simple language, she said. Somehow to put your mind at the feet of God. That is tapasya. So that is the way you have to collect your mind and to put to God. Mind is running this side, that side. You have to control that again and again. That is called tapasya, so tapa. Then shaucha, the purity. What is the purity? Love and unselfishness. Then comes the forgiveness, daya. The forgiveness. I can forgive when I don't have the ego. When I can understand the other person. Oh, that is a poor man. He behaved like that. It is okay. So daya, the compassion, at the same time, I live in that. The soul that is living with me, the same soul is also in that. So that conception, that idea, that knowledge, so comes the daya and truthfulness. Satya, whatever is happening all around me, that should be followed, that truthfulness. These 4 were there. In the second part of the creation, now the first part gone in that way. So they were known as the Hamsa. Hamsa means they were not attached at all. We have said that Hamsa means the swan, means the duck. They were not attached at all. So give the symbol. What is the symbol? The duck, the swan. They're floating on the water but not at all wet by the water. So in the Satya Yuga, in the Krita Yuga, Krita Yuga, all people are like that. Very wonderful people, very good people. So again and again you will find in the Indian the scriptures and the literatures, they talk about the Satya Yuga. So we will go back to Satya Yuga. Why? People are very happy. But God, from the second, now we have to remember the creation. The creation, God created Brahma. Brahma created all these people, and now they started creating Praja. Praja means all this creation. And this creation came from those people. They were having three gunas, Satya, Raja and Tama. So when the three gunas are there, so obviously as the students of Vedanta you all know, these three gunas always change the characteristics of human being. The different type of people, a different type of behavior, thought, processes. So it started coming. In the second part of the creation, which is known as the Treta Yuga, Satya, Treta, Dwapar and Kali. The total creation was divided into four. Satya Yuga or Krita Yuga, then Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga and Kali Yuga. These are the four. Now we are talking about the Treta Yuga. In the Treta Yuga, now the Lord is telling, in the second part of the, which is known as the Treta Yuga, Lord said, Three Vidya appeared from his heart, and the great Lord manifest as Yajna. Now the Yajna, so some activities in the name of religion. It is, if someone not interested in religion but goes through these, you can understand how the changes are coming in the human society. In the beginning, people are all so good, so happy. And then the second part, in the Treta Yuga, the God told, I gave the education, I gave knowledge to all. In the beginning, the knowledge was only with Brahma. The Brahma, the firstborn, the creator. Now in the Treta Yuga, that knowledge was distributed among the rishis, among many people. So many people started understanding because of that knowledge. And what happens? So where from the knowledge came in the Treta Yuga? In a very dramatic, poetical way, the Lord is telling, Three Vidya, the three Vedas, Rik, Sam, Yaju, appeared from my heart. And the great Lord manifest himself, manifest as Yajna. And the Yajna was known as Vishnu. Yajna Vai Vishnu. This is the 12th verse of the 17th chapter. It says like this. So what do you find? Knowledge and activity. In the human society, two things are necessary, knowledge and activity. So these two things are happening. If you look at the goddess Kali, the Tantrika, afterwards another fraction, another way of reaching to God, another way of understanding the truth is Tantra. In the Tantra, power, the Lord's power. So they gave the form of a mother, Ma Kali. Have you noticed? From her west, the hands are hanging, human hands. Why? Karma. The karma and jnana. So these are combined. So creation is happening. And the moment we are performing the karma, the way we are doing, in a manner we are doing, naturally producing different results. In the Treta Yuga, actually this started happening. The rituals in the form of yajna became prominent. In the Satya Yuga, it is only meditation. It is only Omkara. There is no other rituals. Now the Treta Yuga, according to Bhagavata Purana, yajna. Yajna by Vishnu. The Vishnu means all-pervading God. Vistareti Vishnu. So Vishnu means all-pervading. That all-pervading conception is there. But to help people to concentrate, there was the yajna. And this yajna is a fire. The human mind, the simple way, they don't like to do it. They will go on increasing these, that, paraphernalia, and make it more complicated. Because the human mind, simple thing they don't understand. They don't like. If you go to a doctor, doctor looks at you and say, oh, nothing has happened. Go and take some banana, it will be all right. You are not satisfied. Banana, every day I am taking banana. If the doctor say, oh no, go and have this taste, and you have to spend nearly $2,000, $3,000, then another after month you get the appointment, you go to the doctor, then God doctor is checking. Then after all this thing, he says, eat banana. And you are satisfied after spending $5,000. That is the complication is there, always present in the human mind. So we have to understand the simple thing. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna said, call God as a child is calling for a mother. We are not satisfied. Anything else, what should I do? Shall I not practice austerity? Shall I not fast? Simple thing, but we don't like that. So the God created the yajna, and it was so simple, but afterwards, nowadays if you go, all the brahmanas, they will be making it so complicated. So the Lord Buddha came and protested against that. Then it all goes on. Everything goes on in this way. So ritual in the form of the yajna became prominent in the place of 4 practices of dharma. What were the 4 practices? Tapa, Shaucha, Daya and Satya. So if you practice that, then you realize God. You are transformed into that beautiful, wonderful God conception. What is God? Again and again people will ask, have you seen God? As if some object that you go and see. It is not. It is the quality that is all the time inherent there. You have to manifest those qualities. In the Satya Yuga, they said Tapa, Satya, Daya, Shaucha. That is the purity, forgiveness, truthfulness, austerity. Now the next Yuga, people were not satisfied. Acha, okay, now start practicing yajna. Then pouring the oblation, then doing these, and different type of mantra developed, different type of gods and goddesses came. All this thing came from. So in Treta Yuga, from the cosmic body, Virat, cosmic body of the Supreme Lord, 4 varnas and 4 ashramas manifested. Those who are not Hindu, those who don't have the idea of this Hinduism or the Sanatana Dharma, for them this is little confusing. The majority of the people, they don't have the caste system. It is only Hindu. They don't have the ashrama system. It is in the Hindus. Of course, nowadays modern Hindu, they don't bother about. They are majority, they are not practicing. But still it was there, how it came and why it came. This is very, very interesting. In the Bhagavad Gita, we don't find this. We only hear Swadharma, your own responsibility, Swadharma. But where from the Swadharma came? What are those responsibilities? Very clearly, The same Bhagavan Krishna in the Bhagavata, he is explaining. And he said that from the mouth of the Virata. What is this Virata? The Virata is the combination of the sum, all the total body, all this body that we see, right from the ant, or maybe I can say, until up to the supreme, a great rishi, all this together. And the reflection of the consciousness that is there in each and every being, total, that is called Virata. So sometimes those who read the biography of Sri Ramakrishna, you know, Sri Ramakrishna couldn't pluck the flower, because the moment he was thinking that I should pluck the flower to offer it to the Kali, he found that the flower has already been offered to the Virata. The Sanskrit word Virata means all pervading, huge. So that Virata. So from that Virata, as if the Varna and Ashrama, these are the two words I'll request you to remember. One is the Varna, another is the Ashrama. So four. So we are having 4 yugas, then 4 Varnas, and 4 ashramas. So all these 4 it comes. Now what is that 4 Varna? First we will say Varna. From the mouth of the great manifested God, Virata is the manifested God. From the mouth of the Virata sprang Brahmana. Then came from the arms of the Virata came the Kshatriyas. From the thighs of the Virata came Vaishyas. And from the feet of the Virata, Shudra. So there is a stotra again, that the people that developed, the rishis and the holy people, they composed in a nice way so that we can understand this. But in Bhagavata, a simple way, they say, these varnas, different categories of people, they sprang just like that. So it came from that. Also the ashrama. Ashrama means the whole life of a human being was, they thought it is 100 years. Then they divided into 4 parts again. And the first part is the brahmacharya, then garastha, then vanaprastha, then sannyasa. So these 4 again, the ashrama. Ashrama where the people are living, and varna, the responsibility that they are performing. So this is the difference. The people are living in a particular position in the life, the lifespan, it has been accepted as 100 years, maybe more. So how 25 years? The first 25 is the brahmacharya, student's life. Then from 26 to 50, again it's the garastha life. And there will be householder. Then again from 51 to 75, it goes like to the vanaprastha, retired people. And from then onwards is sannyasa. This is the 4 steps, stages of life. According to the temperament that the people should follow. We will come to that. Maybe we will take 1 or 2 classes to explain this. But this is very important, particularly for those to understand what is this varna and what is this ashrama. So the varnas, first was the brahmana, because they came from the mouth of that Virata God. Why? We will understand that afterwards. What are the responsibilities, the dharma of the brahmanas? Then from the arms, the kshatriya. Why again? The God given all details. Then from the thigh of the God came the vaishyas and the feet. Here comes from the heart of the God comes the brahmacharya. Then from the thigh comes the grihastha, householder. Then from the chest come Banaprasthi, the retired, after the retirement, and then from the head, the monastic life, sannyasa. So 4 varnas and 4 ashrama. Then the Lord declared in the clear terms the qualities of different varnas. This is important. What are the qualities of the varnas? Responsibilities of the varnas? The qualities of varna: control of mind. This is the first. If one says that I am a Brahmana, the first thing is the control of the mind, shama. Control of the senses, dhamma. The contemplations is a stapa. Cleanliness, shaucha. Containment, santosha. Forbearance, shanti. Straightforwardness, arjabam. Devotion, bhakti. Compassion, daya. Truthfulness, satyam. So these are the total qualities of a Brahmana. Anyone claiming that I am a Brahmana must have these. Only some threads hanging on the shoulder is not a marka Brahmana. Only keeping the tuff and then going and doing some puja is not a Brahmana. Brahmana means qualities. The human being is nothing but the qualities. And the first and foremost is the control of the senses, mind and sense organs. That is the Brahmana, shama. And then stapa, contemplation. They will be constantly the Brahma. If we read the biography of Sri Ramakrishna, a little portion comes about Sri Ramakrishna's father, Shudiram Chattopadhyay. And he was a grihasthi, but he was a Brahmana. So the Brahmana, if we like to know what type of people they should be, righteous, straightforward, very frank, and without any fear, they will practice there. The one gentleman came to Sri Ramakrishna's father, Shudiram Chattopadhyay. He was the landlord of that area. The litigation was going on. So he knew that this particular person, Shudiram Chattopadhyay, is respected for his truthfulness, satya. He told him, gave him the offer, you only say one word in favor of me in the court before the judge, and I will give you a lot of wealth. And if you don't do it, he threatened him, being a owner of this whole area, I am going to snatch away all that you are having. I will throw you on the street. You know what he did? He never gave up the truthfulness. That is called Brahmana. That is called Satya. And he was having a very prosperous way, a Grahastha Dharma, Grahastha Ashrama. He was having, even today if you go, that particular place, a little part of it, our devotees, they have purchased and developed an ashrama over there. You can go and listen, you can see for yourself how he used to live. You know, in the villages, they were having the cows, they were having the pond, the fishes, and they were having the paddy fields. Even naturally, everything was there. And a very nice life they used to live, comfortable life. But just because he didn't say that untruth, the false, in favor of that landlord, they forced him to leave everything over there, and with his wife and children, he was on the street, not knowing where to go. And look at the wife also, Chandramani Devi. She was also a very righteous lady. And she told, whatever happens to our life, even the death, we are not going to budge from the responsibility of a Brahmana. We won't tell the lies, whatever happens. And that is called Brahmana. If one wants to say that I am a Brahmana, should know whether they are having these qualities or not. The control of the mind, shama. Control of the senses, dhamma. contemplation, stapa, cleanliness, shaucha. And the Brahmanas, they are very clean, neat and clean. The house and their body, the clothes, the way they live, very neat and clean. It must be. Otherwise, it cannot be a Brahmana. Very dirty way, wearing the clothes without washing, and he cannot be a Brahmana. So one should understand, before putting a finger and complaining against this caste system, one should understand who created this caste system and why he created. So this we understand that a great wonderful people, they are the leaders, the thinkers of the society, think tank. Nowadays they use that word, think tank. They were that. They used to live that life, holy life, very contemplated life, very and all the time happy life, and then they used to inspire the other people in the society. So they were the Brahmanas. Then the second qualities of the Kshatriya. After the Brahmana comes the Kshatriya. First and foremost quality is the Teja, indomitable spirit in the Kshatriyas, indomitable spirit. Then the strength of the Balam, the patience, Dhriti, valor, Shaurja. Then fortitude, Titiksha, broad-mindedness, Audaryam, enterprising, Uttama, and steadiness, Stoirjam, respect for the holy people, Brahmannata, and leadership, Aisharyam. These are the qualities of the Kshatriyas. And majority of the Kshatriyas only Kshatriya because of their ego. And they think that they're keeping a big moustache and putting on the costly dress is a Kshatriya. Wrong. So that is why again and again I feel, the more I grow, more I think that when we are complaining without knowing. When we are criticizing the system that the God, Lord himself introduced, we are criticizing without knowing. And by that way, we are destroying a beautiful system in the human society that God developed that, so that ultimately these people, they go back to Him. And going back to God means the peace, the joy, the happiness. So here we find the patience. You know that story in the Mahabharata? The Karna wanted to learn a special type of in the war, and he went to Bhrigu. Bhrigu was though he is a Brahmana, but he took up the arms to fight with the Kshatriyas, because the Kshatriyas became very egoistic and they were trying to break the society's law. So we think that Bhrigu that is a bad person. No. So he actually considered as an avatar. Why? He was establishing the Dharma. The Dharma means that all different groups should practice their own responsibilities. So that Dharma. Anyway, the Karna, he went to the Bhrigu. Bhrigu by birth, he was a Brahmana. And he was fighting for the cause of the Brahmanas, to bring back the respect of the Brahmanas from the Kshatriyas. In this context, when he went, so naturally he said, see, I teach only the Brahmana boys. I can understand that you are a very good student, but I don't teach the Kshatriya people. I teach only the Brahmanas. Karna told lies. Karna said, I am a Brahmana. And okay, they accepted because he said that. And then it continued, the training was completed. The last day, that Karna will be graduating from that training. So Guru said, I like to sleep keeping my head on your thigh, on your lap. So Karna sat, the Guru lied down, and he was sleeping. And he was sleeping profoundly when suddenly one insect, started entering into the body of the Karna. And it was terrible pain was there. The insect was cutting through the whole thigh, you can imagine. It was going on cutting through from one side to another. Karna could get up. No, he didn't do that. Because the great respect for the Guru is sleeping. Now I should not disturb Guru. So he was bearing that pain. After that, the Guru got up and saw that. Immediately he said, you cannot be a Brahmana. You must be a Kshatriya. So bearing that pain, it is not possible for anyone else but the Kshatriya. Then he said, whatever you have learned that you can use, but when the ultimate time will come, you will be in front of the death. You will forget all this training that I gave to you. So this is the qualities of the Kshatriya. The Kshatriyas should have the valor, and they should protect the whole society. They should have great respect for the Brahmanas. Friends, I went to some places where I found even today the soldiers, Indian soldiers, I went to some border. I was in Arunachal Pradesh, so I went to that border. There the soldiers are so respectful. And some of the Indian, so far I knew, they don't disclose, these are all secret things. They practice jungle warfare. So the soldiers will come, recruits will come, they will practice the jungle warfare. They will go inside the jungle like that. Months after months they will live over there without water and food. How they survive, I do not know. One day so happened, that when I was there, it was the winter night, midnight. Suddenly I found a big group of Indian soldiers. So they were there. But when they saw me in the Gerua, in the beginning they couldn't understand, but when they came to the light and they saw me in Gerua, immediately the leader, he respected me, and there was an image, the statue of Swami Vivekananda. Vivekananda is well known to everyone. So one young soldier came running to report to his officer, sir, there's a statue of Swami Vivekananda. Immediately, whole thing changed. So you are the followers of Vivekananda? So they respected. So this respect is always there for the holy people. That is the valor, that is the courage, and that is the quality of the Kshatriyas. Now it comes to Vaishya. Who are these Vaishya? Who can be considered as Vaishya? First is faith in God, astikya. If you go to any of our business houses, you will find the most of the houses, very beautiful, wonderful, the buildings, but the moment you enter, there is a small temple of Ganesha. So they believe if the Ganesha is there, he is the Siddhi Data, he will give all the success to my endeavor. So the astikya, that is there. Then dana, charity. The business people, they always do the dana. If you read the biography or the life of our Lord Buddha, all rich people, Srishti, they used to support him. They used to feed his children, the disciples. So this dana, even today, all this business community, they are helping people. Humility, adamba. If you talk to them, they are always very humble. Service to holy people, Brahma Sevanam, they always do like that. Capacity to earn money, Artha Upachayahi, they have the capacity, that is the speciality. As the Kshatriyas, they know how to fight, they are courageous, and the Vaishyas, they know how to earn money. It is not for all. And the special quality that they are Vaishyas always remain dissatisfied. That is a very peculiar characteristics of a Vaishya. He is not satisfied. He has earned so much, still dissatisfied. Nowadays, a group of people, they are enlisting the richest person in the world. All the business community, business people, they try to be in that list. And they're very happy if they are there, maybe the third, the fourth. Can you imagine? Of all the people of the world, they are in the fourth, they are so rich, but they are dissatisfied. Why I am not first? And once he becomes the first, next year also he like to be there. Dissatisfaction is one of the characteristics of the Vaishyas. Then comes the Shudra. The tendency to serve and remain satisfied with whatever they achieve. So some people are there, they don't have the effort to reach the higher place. They can come. They can become a Vaishya, they can become a Shudra, Kshatriya, they can become a Brahmana even. If they acquire these qualities, obviously it is not that watertight compartment you can never come. Of course the other people don't like them to come. Naturally, it's natural, but you have to fight back. You have to gain knowledge and you have to go into that position. You can do that. So that is the Brahmana position one can achieve. So friends, this is the way it was going. Then the Lord said in the 20th verse, there are some people, they are not coming into this any category. The four categories, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Apart from these four categories, there are a group of people and they are ashaucham. They are uncleanliness. They are always unclean, and physically, mentally. Anritam, always say the falsehood, false thing. Stiyam, they don't hesitate to take away others' things. Nastikam, they do not believe in God or any holy life. Shushka Vigraha, they are very quarrelsome. Any little thing they will be happy to quarrel and fight with others. Kama, full of lust. Krodhascha, full of anger. Tarshascha, they have the greed. Swabhava ante abhasainam, this tendency is beyond the forecast. So this type of people, they don't come to any class, and that is called jabana. In the Hinduism they always say jabana. What is this jabana? Sometimes they say jabana means the other religions. No, that word was used, jabana is these people. The ausprisya in Sanskrit they will say, don't touch me, because if you go to this type of people, because of their the way of living, because of their thought, you will be affected. That is why they call ausprisya. Ausprishyata, sometimes in a society, sometimes the misusing of the things are always there. So naturally some people will come to rectify. Our Gandhiji came, he wanted to remove that ausprishyata. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna himself also. But whom we should avoid? Sometimes some people used to visit Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. When they will come and they enter into the room, Sri Ramakrishna used to shrink like that. And when that person will leave, he will ask the others to pour Ganga water on that particular place. Why? Because this type of people, they are constantly telling the false thing, and then the unclean, they are non-believer, they are quarrelsome, they are full of lust, anger and greed. So this type of people, one should not entertain. I should conclude by saying that the Lord, with this today, and then we'll continue, we have discussed about the varnas and the responsibilities. And the next class we will discuss about the ashramas, how to understand and what are the practices that every ashrama should do. Let me conclude. All the four varnas that we have discussed, apart from that, Lord has given some qualities that every human society should follow. Every human should follow. What is that? Ahimsa, satyam, asteyam, akama, krodha, lobhata, bhuta, priya, hita, ihva, cha dharmo ayam sarva varnikaha. Sarva varnikaha, all varnas. All the four varnas, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, all they should practice non-injury, ahimsa, truthfulness, satyam, non-stealing, asteyam, free from lust, akama, anger and greed, akrodha and lobhata, and always active to help others, bhuta, priya, hita, iha, to always try to help others for their betterment. These are the dharma of all varnas. Friends, sometimes people, when they criticize dharma, they should know these. At least this part of Bhagavata they can read, the 17th chapter and 21 words. This is the dharma of the human being. The dharma definition, dharayati iti dharma. It holds. And how it is holding with these wonderful qualities. Otherwise, what will happen? The jungle, the law of the jungle. If you have the might, you can survive. No, human society is completely different. And Swami Vivekananda very nicely puts like this. He said, in the beginning, you were animals. Now you have become the human, and your goal is to become the God. So that is the journey of the human. And how religion, dharma, and Swami Vivekananda again says, religion is a process that makes a brute unto man, man unto God. And dharma means keeping the words, keeping the vows, keeping the promises. Thank you very much. Let us chant this mantra and conclude today's talk. Is there any question? There?
There are many questions.
Oh. Yeah.
So the first question is from Tanya Guha. Tanya is saying, my heartfelt pranam onto your feet, Swamiji. My question is, can a bhakta attain Nirvikalpa Samadhi, and is Nirvikalpa Samadhi necessary for realization?
Yes, Tanya, that is sure. A bhakta, through his devotion, he goes and completely merge into the God and forget that person, his own person. The obviously is called the Samadhi. Nirvikalpa Samadhi means the Samadhi, the merging into or becoming one with the consciousness without the help of any object. Now you use the word bhakta. Bhakta means there is a God, and if you can understand that God, your God, is nothing but the all-pervading consciousness, of course through the devotion you can march into that consciousness, and that can be called as the Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Quickly I will give you the hint. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna was worshipping goddess Kali, and if you read the biography you will know, and he was as a devotee praying to God, worshipping God, goddess, that is Kali. Then ultimately when his devotion becomes the extreme, then the goddess Kali appeared before him. How? Not as that image, but as the light, effulgent light, and all comprehends, all pervading everywhere. So that is called Nirvikalpa. There's no kalpa, no object, but merging into that consciousness. Yes, I will say yes to your question.
So the next question is from Manahar Parikh. How do we take rebirth? Once we merge with God, do we take birth again?
No. if no, Manohar, that is, your question is, once we merge into that God, do we take the rebirth? No. The rebirth comes from the desire. There some people are there who like to come back to have a part of the game of the God. So they come back even after realization of the God. And sometimes some very high spiritual personalities, God send them back to work for the people. There's called avatars. There are different categories are there. But your question, when you go back to God and merge in God and forget your personality, no, there is no coming back. I will give the example. If a drop of water falling in the ocean, can that particular drop come back? From that ocean, again the water will vaporized, again the water will become another drop of water will fall, but that cannot be said. That particular drop first fell into ocean and merged. So no coming back.
The next question is from Srimad Viswas. Srimad is saying, what is ego? How we escape from it?
Ego is very difficult to explain, but everybody is having. Everyone is having that I-ness, that when we say I, so that is called ego. And how to go beyond this, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna taught very nicely. It is very difficult to go beyond that, because all our suffering, all our births, because of that particular ego, but though it is no basis actually. So how to eradicate, how to go back? Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna said, turn it towards God. Say, I am the daughter of God. I am the son of God. Ego, but it goes to God. And then whatever you are doing, the God. By that way only we can be free from the ego. The good question, thank you.
Next question is from Samir Kumar Chatterjee. Samir Babu is asking, I have found that Satya, Raja and Tama character in me. Is it possible?
Yes. The Satya, Raja, Tama, not only you, everyone. Everyone is having these three gunas, and it may be the variation, maybe that they are 25%, 50%, like that. But some people who are very good people, very holy people, they may be having the special, that Sattva guna, little more. And another good people, but a little egoistic, I am doing for you, I am having this, etc., etc. They will help you, they will guide you and all that, but I am doing, that is a Raja is little more. And Tama, of course, they will never help you. So complete Tama is a very rare type of people whom we call ausprisya. Just now I concluded with that, ausprisya. But these three gunas are present in every human being. Our goal should be to develop, to go or increase Sattva guna. But then finally we have to give up the Sattva guna also to become liberated. Thank you.
The next question is from Devjani Dhar. She is asking, is it possible that Kali Yuga can come after, Satya Yuga can come after Kali Yuga again? What will be the transition period?
Yes, that is, you will be very happy that whether you believe it or not, we believe, because Swami Vivekananda said, the Swamiji said, from the day Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna took birth, Satya Yuga began again. Kali Yuga is over. Sometimes some people give the picture the Kali Yuga means very bad, everything will be, they will kill everyone, etc., etc. But if you can explain in this way, the Kali is coming on a horseback and with a sword in his hand. Some people, they are describing, it is the symbol of dhamsha, destruction. Why? It can be speed and knowledge. Kali is coming in if you have seen that just in imaginary picture, Who will go and take the snap of the Koli? So Koli is coming on a horseback. Horse is a symbol of speed. Look at the present day. So much speed. I am sitting in Chicago. I am talking to you. And immediately you can not only hear, you can see me, isn't it? Is not only the speed, the sword that the Koli is carrying is the symbol of knowledge, cutting the ignorance and the knowledge. Had it been possible if that knowledge was not there, the technology was not there to reach you like this? So the Koli has come, Koli is going on, and in Koli some bad qualities will be there, some death will be there, but it is also good because it is so slowly fading out, and again the people, they are loving to listen to the holy talks. They are loving to practice the spirituality. There is also so many people, they are writing to us and we are sending them the books. Why so many people? So slowly it is, Satya Yuga is also coming, I believe. Thank you.
The next question is from Shaunak Roy. Shaunak Babu is asking, what is Advaya Brahman? Is it duality, barred, Advaita concept?
I couldn't get it. Can you read again?
Advaya Brahman. What is
Brahma? Brahma or Brahman?
Brahman.
Brahman.
Advaya. A-D-H-A-Y.
Advaya.
Brahman.
Advaya.
Is it duality, barred, Advaita concept?
Advaya, if you say Advaya, it is no two. A means negative and Dvaya means two, so no two, it is one. And then Brahman, that is called Supreme Brahman, the Parama Brahma. So Advaya Brahma means the Parama Brahma, the Supreme Brahma, the inactive Brahman. So Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna again said, the Brahman when inactive is called Shiva, and Brahman when active, creating, sustaining, so it's called Kali. So like that. I think that may be the question.
The next question is from Checkmate Diabetes. I don't know what. Why did God create a world with so much suffering? Normally, the answer given is karma, but not even a leaf moves without the will of God. So why is a human to be blamed for all his mistakes and suffering?
If you have listened to me today's talk, in the beginning itself I told, let us first know what is the truth. Then we will enter into the discussion. So who has created the human being? God. Didn't I say? Why human beings are different? Because God has given three different qualities to them. The who gave dharma or the teaching or the righteousness? God again. And what happened when they practice and listen to God? Go back to Godhead. Then ultimately it is God in different forms. If you can see in this way, then there will be no contradictory. I don't know whether you know Bengali or not. Rabindranath Tagore, he mentioned it in a very nice way. Tomari deva prane, tomari deva dukha, tomari deva mone, tomari anubhava. It is your mind and it is your feeling and it is your karma, and that you are suffering. So it is all God only. Try to think in this way, but at the same time also imbibe the spirit that God has given this teaching that I should become God and I should follow that. So try to do that. Swadharma, what is the responsibility? Try to follow that.
The next question is Srima Viswas. What is the name of avatar in Satya Yuga?
There was, in that way, there was no avatar in Satya Yuga. The avatar started coming, the Treta and Dwapar and Kali. So that is the, another Sri Ramachandra came afterwards. In Satya Yuga, all people, as today we have discussed, in Satya Yuga, all people were known as Hamsa. They were all the very good people, just like very, very holy people. So avatar, it was not necessary to come, the God to come to guide them. Avatar comes yada yada hi dharmasya glani bhavati bharata. When the dharma, the righteousness, the guidance, the people are not following, then the God is taking the human form and appearing before them to guide. In Satya Yuga it was not necessary.
The next question is from Milan Chattopadhyay. Milan Babu is saying, how will we maintain our Swadharma in 21st century?
Why not 20th century? Why 21st century? The Swadharma means, whatever the responsibility we take, that is our Swadharma. Now, my brother, he is in the world, he is a grihasti, householder, so he is performing his Swadharma as a householder. And in the next class, in the next Sunday, we will discuss about that. What are the householders' duties and how they should live. Now, I, from the same parents, same family, I have become a monk. My responsibility, my Swadharma, is to dharma palan, dharma shiksha, to practice the righteousness and also to teach righteousness to the society. I am doing that. So from the same family, two brothers, but one in this way, one is that way. You have to understand what is your Swadharma, and you should try to practice that.
The next question is from Mishti Gopali. Mishti is asking, does the Atman carry samskar, or samskar are in the mind? We are not the mind, but we are the Atman. So does one carry samskar to next birth?
If you think that you are not mind, then you are already liberated. And as long as you are thinking, that means you have a mind. Otherwise, you will think. So when you are thinking and cognizing, that means your mind is there, and mind is having four parts. And in the four parts, mana, buddhi, chitta and ahamkara, your chitta is the storehouse. So obviously, this storehouse is a part of your sukshma sharira, subtle body. So after the death, it carries that. And the Atma that we say, individual Atma, it is a reflection of the consciousness on our intellect, the Vedantic term. So I should say, either these terminologies about the Vedanta, we should be very clear, then only, otherwise we mix up the ideas. Thank you.
The last question is from Tanya Guha. Tanya is asking, Swamiji, thank you for your wonderful words. I wish to know that when we go beyond dharma, that is beyond worldly matters, do we enter spirituality?
Beyond dharma, that is righteousness, the righteous, beyond dharma if we go, that is called the nirvana. We can use this word nirvana. But before that, before we are merging into that, and what happens after merging into that, no one can say. Again, I will quote from Sri Ramakrishna. He said, the doll made of salt went to fathom the water of the ocean. From the ocean only salt comes. From the salt that doll became, as if that doll when is going to that water to ocean is naturally becoming ocean itself, melting into that. Same way, when you cross the dharma, reached ultimate, then there is remains nothing. So in the Ram Prasad, he said, understanding these, that everything is nothing but the made of God, I have given up both dharma and adharma. And what is adharma and what is dharma? When I understand that everything is nothing but the made of God, so we have to understand that. But at this moment, as long as I is there, we have to practice dharma. Thank you very much. Now let us chant this mantra and conclude. Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Maruta Stunnanti Divyaistavai Vedai Sangha Padakramopanishadai Gayanti Yam Samaga Dhyanavastita Tadgatena Manasa Pashyanti Yam Yogina Yashyantam Nabidu Surasuragana Devaya Tashmai Namah. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat. Om, peace, peace, peace unto all. May you all be happy and healthy and remain very courageously. You have to face this time now is going on. This shall also pass, as they say in English. This shall also pass. So try to develop spirituality in this time. Thank you very much.